Alrighty guys, what's going on? Welcome on back. It's the Empire. I'm your host Risky. It is Thursday, May 28th. Looking back at yesterday, was able to break the losing streak, hit on our solo bet. It could have been a much better day, go 2 for 3 on our parlay. Needed the Angels to come through for us. It turned out to be a really bad read on my part. But you guys already know the rules. It's on to the next one. We got a small schedule, 6 games on tap here today. Guys, Outlier Sportsbook, the link is down in the description. Sign up with them, the first week is free. Also at the end of the video, the 3 bets we'll be placing here today ourselves. With all of that being said, let's jump into it. Alright, first game up, we got the Angels in Detroit taking on the Tigers. Rodriguez on the mount for the Angels, Jack Flannery on the mount for the Tigers. Alright, getting into this one here, the Tigers won yesterday's game. The Tigers are now 2-8 in their last 10 games played. Both of those wins coming in this series here against the Angels. Today, they're going to be seeing the right-handed pitcher, Grayson Rodriguez. He's made 2 starts up to this point. His first start was against the Dodgers 2 weeks ago. In that game, he pitched 3 innings, gave up 7 runs. I'm not going to hold that one too much against him, having your first start be mid-May against the Dodgers lineup. I'm not going to knock him too much. I mean, still a terrible start. But last week against a terrible Texas Rangers offense, in that game he pitched 5 innings, gave up 4 runs. Today he's going to be seeing a Detroit Tigers lineup. Still bottom 15 offenses in the majors, but they are batting .240 versus right-handed pitching, only slugging .375. We saw them in yesterday's game get 3 runs off of Soriano. Looking at the matchup here today for Rodriguez, throws that fastball 50% of the time. It's topping out around 96, 97 miles per hour right now. Every once in a while, it's been hitting 98, 99, but that's like a few times a game. Looking at the matchup here, there was 2 guys that really matched up well against him. That was Dingler and McGonigal, but he does have bad splits versus left-handed bats, even dating back to last season. So I can see guys like Riley Green and Workman getting to him here today. Looking at this Angels bullpen, they're still one of the worst bullpens in the majors. I can see them coming and giving up a few runs as well in this game. I see Rodriguez going about 5, giving up 2, turning it over to an Angels bullpen that, like I said, it's the final game of this series. I don't know how deep they're willing to go into this terrible Angels bullpen. I'm still expecting the arms to come out and give up a few runs. Looking at the other side, we got Jack Flannery on the mount for Detroit. He's looked terrible this season. He comes into this game with a record of 0-6, an ERA of 5.94. Since late April, he's only had 1 decent start against the Red Sox. In that game, went 5 innings, gave up 2 runs. All his other starts going less than 5 innings, giving up 3 runs or more. Looking at the matchup here today for Flannery, he's going to be seeing an Angels lineup that's batting .225 versus right-handed pitching. We saw them get blanked by Casey Mize yesterday. Granted, Flannery's not on the same tier right now as Mize. Looking at the overall matchup for Flannery, he's throwing that fastball 50% of the time. It's only topping out around 93, 94 miles per hour. His hard hit rate on his slider and his curveball right now is through the roof. He comes into this game in the month of May with a hard hit rate of 47%. He's going to be seeing an Angels lineup that really has good slugging numbers versus right-handed pitching. Looking at the overall breakdown here today, I can see a few of these Angels getting to Jack Flannery. I can see Flannery going about 4 to 5 innings, giving up 3 to 4 runs in this one. Turning it over to Detroit Tigers bullpen that has continued to play very well of late. I expect them to come in, shut the door on these Angels bats, maybe give up a run or 2. Looking at the weather here today, it's going to be a 1 o'clock start game. It's going to be 60 degrees throughout, but we are going to have 15-mile-per-hour winds blowing from the diamond to right field, giving left-handed batters an advantage in this one. Looking at the park factor, the park factor, Comerica Park has been towards the bottom of the league this season, 95 rating, under Central. Let's get to the picks. The Tigers are the betting odd favorites in this game here today, and I like them on the money line. The game total set at 9. I like the over 9 total runs in this one. For the player prop, I'm taking Riley Green of the Tigers to hit a home run today. Up next, we got the Twins in Chicago taking on the White Sox. We got the left-handed pitcher Rojas on the mount for the Twins. We got Davis Martin on the mount for the White Sox. Alright, getting into this one here, these 2 teams wrapping up their 4-game series here today. The White Sox have won 2 of the first 3 games up to this point. The Twins are 7-3 in their last 10 games played. Still coming into it, they've been playing very well offensively of late. Today, they're going to have the left-handed pitcher Rojas open up the game. He's probably going to go one time through the lineup. After that, Taj Bradley's going to come into this one. Taj Bradley's looked really good up to this point. He got injured towards the end of April. He made his first start back last week against the Red Sox. In that game, he pitched 5 innings, gave up a run. They're going to have Rojas open up this game to face the top of this White Sox lineup, really get through the left-handed bats one time. Then bring in Taj Bradley. Like I said, he's looked really good. Has a ground ball rate 41%, strikeout rate of 9.5 Ks per 9 innings coming into this one. So Taj Bradley's been in really good form this season. Between the combo of Rojas and Bradley, I can see them coming out here today, giving up 2 runs, turning it over to a Minnesota Twins bullpen that is still one of the worst bullpens in the majors. They looked absolutely terrible this series. I'm expecting them to continue that trend, come out here today, give up a bunch of runs as well. On the other side, we got Davis Martin. He's looked really good this season. Over 10 starts, ERA of 2.04, coming off probably his worst start of the season. Last week in San Francisco, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 4 runs. But all his other starts, he's looked really good. The big thing with him this season, in his home games, he has an ERA of 1.75. Looking at the matchup here today for Davis Martin, he's going to be seeing a Minnesota Twins lineup that's batting .238 on the season versus right-handed pitching, slugging .400. Like I said, they're 7-3 coming into this game. In their last 10 games played, the Minnesota Twins are batting .262 as a unit, slugging .404. Looking at the matchup here today for them, I can see them getting a run off of Davis Martin. He's looked really good, but there's a few guys that match up well against him. Guys like Clemens and Brooks Lee. I can see Davis Martin having his regular start up to this point, going about 6 innings, giving up a run or 2, turning it over to a White Sox bullpen. I don't like the spot here today for them. I can see the arms available for the White Sox coming out, giving up a run or 2 themselves. Looking at the weather here today, it's going to be an afternoon game. We do have 15-mile-per-hour winds blowing from the diamond to the outfield. Let's get to the picks. The White Sox are the betting odd favorites in this game here today, and I'm playing them on the money line. The game total set at 7.5. I do like the under 7.5 total runs. I got this a 4-3 game for the White Sox. For the player prop, I'm taking 2 White Sox in this game here today. I'm taking Vargas for 2 total bases, and I'm also taking Davis Martin to go over his strikeouts line over 4.5 Ks. Up next, we got the Atlanta Braves in Boston taking on the Red Sox. 2 left-handed starting pitchers in this one. We got Chris Sale on the mound for the Braves. We got Peyton Toley on the mound for the Red Sox. Alright, getting into this one here. These 2 teams wrapping up their 3-game series. Both of them had off on Monday. They've both split the first 2 games of the series up to this point. In this game here today, the left-handed pitcher Chris Sale's on the mound for the Braves. He's looked amazing this season. Over 10 starts, has a 1.89 ERA. He's only had 1 bad outing this year. It was like the first week in April. Gave up 6 runs to the Angels. Other than that, he's given up, for one, he's only had 1 other start where he's given up 2 runs. All the other starts, he's given up 1 run or less. Looking at the matchup here today for him, he's going to be seeing a Boston Red Sox lineup that does hit left-handed pitching very well. They're batting .273 on the season versus left-handed pitching, slugging .407. Looking at the matchup here today for Chris Sale, he's throwing that slider fastball combo. It's been really lethal up to this point. He comes into this game with the rate of 9.5 Ks per 9 innings. He's only averaging 3 walks per 9. He does have a ground ball rate coming into this game at 38%. That sinker ball has been working very well for him this season. When I did the breakdown for him, I can see Chris Sale coming out here today having his medium regular start where he goes about 6-7 innings, gives up a run, turns it over to an Atlanta Braves bullpen. Still one of the best bullpens in the majors. I'm expecting them to come and shut the door on this Boston Red Sox lineup. On the other side, we got the left-handed pitcher Peyton Toley on the mound. He's looked solid for the Red Sox this year, 2.45 ERA. He saw this Braves team 2 weeks ago in Atlanta. In that game, he pitched 8 innings, only gave up 2 runs. Today, when I do the breakdown for him, for one, on the season, this Atlanta Braves team's batting .255, slugging .419. In their last 8 games played, this Braves team is batting .227, slugging .380. When we do the matchup breakdown, for one thing I like about Peyton Toley, those first 2 starts he made on the season, that fastball percentage was at 51%. His last few outings, he's really been working in that sinker and the cutter. It's been faring very well for him. Looking at the matchup for him though, there was 3 guys that matched up very well against him. Austin Riley, Ronald Acuna, and Michael Harris. I can see Peyton Toley going about 5 innings here today, giving up 2 to 3 runs, turning it over to a Red Sox bullpen that continues to play very well here in the month of May. In over 20 games played, they have a bullpen ERA of 3.70 here in the month of May. When we look at the weather, it's going to be like a late afternoon game. This game wraps up early evening, starts at 4 o'clock Eastern, 65 throughout. We're going to have 7-mile-per-hour winds blowing from the outfield into the diamond. Looking at the ballpark factor, Fenway this season has been an under factory there towards the bottom of the league. Let's get to the picks. The Braves are the betting odd favorites in this game here today, and I'm playing them on the run line. The game total set at 7.5. I got this a 4-1 game for the Braves. I like the under 7.5 total runs. For the player prop, I'm taking Ronald Acuna of the Braves for 2 total bases today. Next up, we got the Blue Jays in Baltimore taking on the Orioles. The left-handed pitcher Corbin on the mound for the Jays. We got Bassett on the mound for the Orioles. Alright, getting into this one here. These 2 teams starting up their first game here of a 4-game series. Both of them are 6-4 in their last 10 games played. In this game today, the left-handed pitcher Patrick Corbin's on the mound for the Blue Jays. He's looked really solid this year for the Jays. Over 6 starts, he has an ERA of 3.80. His last outing against the Pirates, he looked really sharp in that game. Went 6 innings, gave up a run. On top of that, when I look at the competition of teams he's played up to this point, they've all been some really good offensive teams. Today, he's going to be seeing a team towards the bottom of the league offensively, especially versus left-handed pitching. They're batting .215 versus lefties on the season, slugging .347. Patrick Corbin is a ground ball pitcher, throws the sinker 30% of the time. He comes into this game here today with a ground ball rate of 39%. It's really good. When I look at the matchup for him, there was 2 guys that matched up well against him. That was Pete Alonso and Gunnar Henderson. Gunnar Henderson has been killing sinker ball pitchers this season. I can see Patrick Corbin going about 5 to 6 innings, giving up a run or 2. The other thing I'm paying attention to here today is this Toronto Blue Jays bullpen. They've been one of the better bullpens all season, but they are extremely taxed coming into it here today. Like I said, this is the first game of a 4-game series. I'm not expecting the Blue Jays to go too deep into their bullpen here today to bring out some arms that's only on a day rest. I see them, even if Patrick Corbin in the 5th inning has a high pitch count, I can see them still leaving him out there for an extra inning or so. On the other side, we got Bassett on the mound for the Baltimore Orioles here today. He's not looked good this season. He comes into this one with a 5.50 ERA. His last 2 starts, he's given up 4 runs back-to-back games. Looking at the matchup here today for him, he's going to be seeing a Toronto Blue Jays lineup that is batting .255 versus right-handed pitching, slugging .392. Overall, on the season, this Blue Jays lineup offensively is a very inconsistent lineup. We saw them in yesterday's game. They got blanked by Yuri Perez, but just like earlier in the week, they put up 4 or 5 runs on Paul Skeens. So a very streaky offense overall. When I do the matchup breakdown, the player breakdown for Bassett here today, he's another sinker ball pitcher. The big difference with Bassett and Corbin coming into this one is Bassett's hard hit rate. We talk about it all the time when we see a sinker ball pitcher. Once they have a hard hit rate above 40%, they usually have an ERA above 5. Bassett has a, like I said, hard hit rate of 45% coming into this game, whereas Corbin has a hard hit rate below 35%. Getting back to Bassett here today in the matchup for him, there is 2 guys that really match up well against him. That's Vlad Jr. and Varsho. I can see Bassett going about 6 innings here today, giving up 3 runs. Turning it over to a Baltimore Orioles bullpen that is very mediocre, but they got some decent arms available for them here today. I can see them coming in, shutting the door on this Blue Jays lineup. Looking at the weather, it is going to be about 75 degrees throughout, but we are going to have 12 to 10 mile per hour winds blowing from the outfield into the diamond. When I look at the ballpark factor though, Camden Yards is towards the top of the league for offensive games, for overs. They're ranked 8th right now coming into it. They've been very friendly for right-handed bats. They ranked 5th overall. Let's get to the picks. The Orioles are the betting odds favorites in this game here today, and I like the road dogs in this spot. Give me the Toronto Blue Jays on the money line. The game total set at 8.5. I like the under 8.5 total runs. For the player prop, I'm taking Varsho of the Blue Jays to hit a home run today. Up next, we got the Cubs in Pittsburgh taking on the Pirates. Colin Ray on the mound for the Cubs. Paul Skeens on the mound for the Pirates. Alright, getting into this one here, the Cubs was able to break their losing streak yesterday. They're still just 1-9 in their last 10 games played. Today, Colin Ray's on the mound. He's been extremely mediocre for the Cubs this season, especially his last 3 starts. In his last 3 outings, he pitched a combined 18 innings. He's given up a combined 13 runs. Looking at the matchup here today for him, he's going to be seeing a Pittsburgh Pirates team. On the season, they're batting .253 versus righties, slugging .401. But in their last 8 games played, this Pirates lineup is batting .267, slugging .411. They continue to play very good here in the month of May offensively. Looking at the matchup for Colin Ray, there's a few guys that match up well against them. The 2 main guys I focused in on is O'Neal Cruz and Brandon Lowe. Colin Ray has terrible splits versus lefties. But when we look at the past matchups for Colin Ray against this Pirates lineup, Brian Reynolds, 19 career at-bats, is batting .221 with 2 home runs. Rodriguez is batting .417 with a home run. Davis got a home run off of him, batting .506 career at-bats. So this Pirates lineup has gotten to Ray before. I see Colin Ray going 5 innings here today, giving up 3 runs, turning it over to a Cubs bullpen that's been the one decent spot for them here this month, but they're extremely taxed coming into it. I see the arms available for the Cubs, giving up a run or 2 when they come in this game here today. On the other side, we got Paul Skeens on the mound for the Pirates, coming off of back-to-back terrible starts against the Phillies and the Blue Jays. Pitched 5 innings in both of them, gave up 5 runs to the Phillies, 4 runs to the Blue Jays. Looking at the matchup here today for him, he's going to be seeing a Cubs lineup that on the season's only batting .229 versus right-handed pitching. Crazy thing, the first week in May, that average was at .258 versus righties. 2 weeks later, we see the losing streak. They've been absolutely terrible offensively in the month of May. I can see Paul Skeens out here though today not getting back on track. When I look at the numbers in the past matchups against this Cubs lineup, last season for example, had 3 starts against the Cubs. He had 1 good start where he pitched 5 innings, gave up no runs, but the other 2 outings gave up 3 runs in both of those starts. Looking at the matchup here today for him, Paul Skeens this season is struggling with left-handed bats. Definitely comparing it to last season numbers, this season lefties are batting .242 against him, slugging .402. So the numbers for left-handed bats versus Paul Skeens this season is definitely up. The main guy that really matched up well against him is Michael Busch. I can see Paul Skeens going about 6 innings here today, giving up 2 runs, turning it over to a Pirates bullpen that continues to be extremely mediocre here in the month of May. They're always coming out, giving up a run or 2. I like them to do the same here today. Come in this game, give up a run or 2. Looking at the weather, it's going to be 70 degrees throughout. We are going to have 10-mile-per-hour winds blowing from the diamond towards like foul territory, but it is still blowing outwards. Looking at the park factor this season, PNC Park towards the top in the league. They're 7th right now offensively. For left-handed bats, they're 6th overall. Let's get to the picks. The Pirates are the betting odds favorites in this game here today, and I like them on the run line. The game total set at 7.5. I like the over 7.5 total runs in this one. For the player prop, I'm taking O'Neal Cruz of the Pirates to hit a home run today. Final game of the day, we got the Houston Astros in Texas taking on the Rangers. We got Spencer Arrieta on the mound for the Astros. We got Nathan Eovaldi on the mound for the Rangers. Alright, getting into this one here, these 2 teams wrapping up their 4-game series. The Astros have won 2 of the first 3 games up to this point. Today, Spencer Arrieta is on the mound for the Astros. This guy has really blown my expectations out the water up to this point. He comes into this game close to 10 starts, an ERA of 132, coming off of back-to-back starts where he is not allowed to run. As a matter of fact, 2 starts ago, he saw this Texas Rangers lineup pitched 7 shutout innings, actually took a no-hitter into the 7th inning in that game. Looking at the matchup here today for him, I could see him having a similar outing, having success against the Texas Rangers team once again. The only thing the Rangers, I guess you could say, would have a slight advantage comparing this game to the last one is this will be the second time they see Arrieta, so I guess they can make some adjustments to him. The one thing that is worrisome about Arrieta, I should say, is his walk rate. He comes into it with a walk rate of 5.5 walks per 9 innings. The one thing that's been saving him is his ground ball rate. The ground ball rates has been making the walks pretty irrelevant, but at some point it's not gonna continue like that. At some point he's gonna start giving up a bunch of runs, giving up some more hits. I don't expect it being against this Texas Rangers team though. Like I said, Texas Rangers lineup still one of the worst offenses in the majors. I see Arrieta going about 6 to 7 shutout innings here once again today, turning it over to an Astros bullpen. They've been playing much better in the month of May, but they are still the worst bullpen in the majors. I'm expecting them to come in this game, give up a run or two. On the other side, we got Nathan Eovaldi. He's looked solid this season, 3.65 ERA. He also saw this Astros lineup a week and a half ago. In that game, he pitched 7 shutout innings. Looking at the matchup here today for Nathan Eovaldi, this Astros team is batting .245 on the season versus righties, slugging .402, but in their last 8 games played, they're only batting .225, slugging .360. The bats have really cooled off here in the month of May overall. Looking at the matchup for Eovaldi here today, there was 2 guys that match up really well against him. That's Christian Walker and Jordan Alvarez. Other than that, I can see Eovaldi coming out here today, having a similar outing where he goes 6 to 7 innings, gives up a run, turning it over to a Rangers bullpen. Still one of the best bullpens in the majors. I can see them coming in, shutting the door on the Astros bats. It's down in Houston, down in Texas, in Arlington, Global Life Park. It is the lowest ranked offensive park in the majors coming into it. They're ranked dead last, 30th overall. Let me get that down on what's going on with me. But yeah, 86th right now. You see the value. The Angels home park got a 92 grading. This is at 86. It's been under Central. Let's get to the picks. The Rangers are the betting off favorites in this game here today, and I like them on the money line. The game total is set at 7.5. I really like the under 7.5 total runs in this one. For the player prop, I'm taking Burger of the Rangers to hit a home run today. Alrighty guys, before we get up out of here, the 4 bets we're going to be placing here today are ourselves. Our first bet will be our ladder play. Our solo bet ladder play came through for us yesterday. The payout was $20.50. So today we'll be wagering that $20.50 on the Atlanta Braves on the run line. We're getting them at plus 126. This is our ladder play of the day. Up next, I have a 2-leg home run parlay I'm playing here today. I'm going to take Riley Green of the Detroit Tigers, and we wrap it up with O'Neal Cruz of the Pittsburgh Pirates, a 2-leg $10 home run parlay. Next up, I have a 3-leg parlay I'm playing here today. I'm going to start it off with the White Sox on the money line. I'm then going to play the Blue Jays on the money line, and I wrap it up with the Braves Red Sox game total to go under 7.5 total runs. And the final bet of the day will be another 3-leg parlay, started off with 2 run line picks. We're going to take the Atlanta Braves on the run line once again. We're then going to play the Pittsburgh Pirates on the run line. And we wrap it up with the Houston Astros Texas Rangers game total to go under 7.5 total runs. Once again, guys, before we get up out of here, I just want to send my salutes out to you all. It's Thursday. We're almost there. You guys know I appreciate you all. I respect you all. I hope we all win some money here today, and I'm going to catch you on the next one.